Here's a story I really like. It's called The Tortoise and the Hare. Once upon a time, there lived a hare who was always boasting of his great speed. "There is no one in the forest who can run as fast as I," he said as he strutted back and forth before all the other animals. "Who would like to race me?" Tired as they were of his boasting, none of the animals ever offered to race him until one morning the tortoise got up from where he had been resting, stretched out his stubby little legs, and said, "I will race you, hare." The hare began to laugh because everyone in the forest knew that the tortoise...
Hi, this is Gordon. And of all the stories in Big Bird's collection, my favorite is The Three Little Pigs. Once upon a time, there were 3 little pigs who lived with their mother on a farm. Soon it became time for the 3 little pigs to go out into the wide, wide world to seek their fortunes. Early one morning, the 3 little pigs started out, each one taking a different road. The first little pig walked along until he met a man with a load of straw. "Please, sir," said the first little pig, "may I have some straw? I wish to build..."
Hola, yo soy Maria. My name's Maria, and the story I'm about to read to you is not only one of Big Bird's favorites, but it's my favorite too. The story's called The Shoemaker and the Elves. Once upon a time, in a small country village, there lived a poor shoemaker and his wife. One afternoon, the shoemaker discovered that he had only enough leather left to make one more pair of shoes. With a heavy heart, he cut them out, and leaving the pieces on his workbench, went slowly up the stairs to the small room over the shop where he and his wife lived. As they sat down to their meager supper, she said, "Well, my husband, did we sell any shoes today?" "No," he replied. "There was only enough leather for one more pair. I have just finished cutting them out, and tomorrow morning I must stitch them and hope that we will have a customer."
Trip-trap, trip-trap went the bridge. "Who's that tripping over my bridge?" roared the troll.
"Oh, it is only I, the littlest Billy Goat Gruff, and I'm going up to the hillside to eat the grass and make myself fat," said the Billy Goat in a tiny voice.
"Well, I'm coming to gobble you up," said the troll.
"Oh, no, please do not take me. I am much too little," said the Billy Goat. "Wait a moment till the second Billy Goat..."
Hi, I'm Susan, and I'd like to read you this story that I liked when I was a little girl. It's called The Town Mouse and the Country Mouse. Once upon a time, a town mouse went to visit his cousin, who lived in the country. The country mouse was glad to see him. They spent most of the afternoon exploring the big barn where the country mouse lived. That evening, they sat down to a supper of beans and bacon, bread and cheese. "Tell me, cousin," said the town.
"I wish I could make friends with those beautiful birds," he thought. "But I'm so ugly, they'll laugh at me and swim away." The swan swam towards him, ruffling their feathers. The ugly duckling bowed his head and waited for the laughter. As he looked down, he saw a reflection in the clear water of the pond. It was a large white bird with a long, graceful neck. Suddenly, he realized he was looking at his own...
Hi, I'm Bob. Big Bird asked me to read one of his favorite stories, and it turns out that it was always one of my favorites when I was young, too. It's called The Emperor's New Clothes. Many years ago, there lived an emperor who was fond of new clothes. He had a costume for every hour of the day. Whenever his ministers went looking for him, they found him in his dressing room rather than in his council chambers. One day,
Hi, this is Prairie Dawn, and I'm going to read a great story. It's called The 3 Wishes. Many years ago, a woodcutter and his wife lived in a small cottage at the edge of a forest. Except for an old horse named Max, they had very few possessions. Each day, when the weather permitted, the woodcutter would hitch up the horse and go into the forest to cut logs, which they then dragged back to the cottage. During the cold winter months, when the winds blew and the snow covered the ground.
Hi, boys and girls. This is Olivia, and I want to read a wonderful story for you today. It's called The Lion and the Mouse. One day, as a lion lay sleeping near his den, a little mouse, scurrying through the tall grass, ran into one of the lion's outstretched paws. With a loud roar, the lion awoke and quickly placed his other paw on the mouse's tail so he could not run away. "Aha!" said the lion. "What do we have here? You're going to be a pretty small mouthful for a hungry lion." "Oh, King of Beasts," squeaked the little mouse, "I'm very sorry to have disturbed you. I meant no harm. Please do not eat me." "Well," said the lion as he lowered his great head towards the mouse, "even a little mouse is better than no mouse at all, isn't it?" "Please, sir," cried the little mouse, "let me go, and I shall never forget your kindness."